One thing that you can do to get yourself some cool designs to animate is go to Freepik. Once you go to Freepik, you can get some design and just animate that. That way you can create a portfolio for yourself. You don't have to think about getting client or getting some client work. So this way you have things to show about your portfolio, things that you can use to grow your portfolio, and then you can get clients by showing your portfolio. My name is Gonçalo Zelado. I'm an Adobe certified trainer, Apple certified trainer, Blackmagic certified trainer, and now a Linearity ambassador for Curve and Move. And today's tutorial is about Move. What we're going to do is download some design from Freepik and animate that on Linearity Move. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go on Freepik, and I just typed in Instagram, and there's a bunch of designs here, and one thing that caught my attention was this one, as I'm going to animate this for a reel, and the reel that I'm doing is going to be putting here my brand and getting people to interact and to like the brand. So I'm going to download this. One thing you gotta be sure, because Move allows to use AI files, so it does not allow APS files, but it allows AI, so Adobe Illustrator files. You can animate from this. So I'll download this one. Once your download is done, you have a file like this, for example, the .ai that you can use. And what I'm going to use this is open up with Linearity Move. Once you get inside Linearity Move, it will pop up this window and it will ask you for the resolution. The resolution now is set to 1. This is from the file. But what you're going to do, because we're creating a new reel, I'm going to go into social media, Instagram story. That's the same as a Instagram reel. So I'll create that. You can see the size of the reel, the aspect. You can get like centered, or you can get like top. You can get that over there, but we're going to change this, so I'll just do aspect fit. You can increase the size here of the thumbnail so you can see the pages. And I have my Instagram story, 30 frames per second. All I need to do is just drag this down here, and I have my scene, and I'm going to define how long the animation is going to be. So let's set this to, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds. So I'll just press import. Once you press import, you have your file here, and as you can see, there's a bunch of changes that we need to make. So I want to remove this background. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my scene. If I expand this, I have some elements, some path, and we can turn this on and off to see which one that we are in need to use. So this path is just the background. I'm going to delete this one. Just press delete and it's gone. So now it's about the elements. As you can see here, the background shadow is not correct. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, instead of using this background over there, I'm going to expand the elements. I'm going to look for the background here, the white background, the object, and you can see a path behind, and this is for the background and some logo, and I'm going to delete this. So I don't need this. I'm going actually to use the path, and you have the options on your inspector. If you don't have your inspector on, here the style, you have a bunch of appearances and all the stuff that you can change. What you need to do is now turn on the shadow. Let's turn on the shadow. It will ask you where the shadow is. So one thing you can do before doing this, because if you're making changes to the design, so instead of using the animate, I'll change the design. I'll move into design, because this way it's not going to create any keyframes. And I'll just offset the shadow, and now I'll increase the blur like this. Okay, it's good. The color might be too harsh. You can use the alpha just to decrease the value of the alpha. Maybe not as intense, so I don't need to change the color. I'll just decrease the alpha of the shadow, and our object is done. Maybe we want to use this a little bigger. Okay, so we can zoom this out, and what I'm going to do, instead of selecting every element, I'm just going to select the whole scene, and I'll just increase the size of this. And we can actually then create a new background, because this one is too white, is white on white, so it doesn't make that pop up. So we'll use another element. One thing we could use, you see this element here, the background of the image. We can find it because we don't want to use it, and we can find the element. If you go here on the layers, maybe we can find this one. It's not here, maybe on this path. Here we go, we have the image. So because we are doing the design, I can just simply copy paste this, and instead of being here, I'll just drag it behind the path. So now what I'm going to do is just increase the size of it like this. So it's the design. You can actually, if you want, you can crop this out or make the changes like this, and I'm going to do it just that. And now I have this background, this Instagram color background. Now what I want to do is just make sure I have everything I need to animate this. Another thing that I want is to put an image here instead of this logo. So I'll just delete that. Let me check. You see that if I turn this on and off, there's a bunch of elements there. So I'm going to expand this one, and I can see probably here the logo. You can see here the path for the Instagram. So I'm going to delete this Instagram logo because I don't want. And now I want to import some photos. You could have your assets here, or you can grab a photo like this. Actually, I'm going to use another one. Since I'm now a Linearity ambassador, I have this image that I'm going to import. I'm going to decrease this. I'm going to put it over there. Just zoom a little more, and now I'm going to put over there. The image is now on top. What I'm going to do is just bring it down to that path here where the image was. There we go. Okay, so the image, now I can turn off that image that it was before. You can see here, and now I have my image over there with the size. So I can select this heart, and you can see the shape and the style and the color. Everything is set up for me to make the animation. I want also to put here some mouse pointer that will make a like and make a follow. Okay, so turn on the follow also. And maybe here the username, I can change the username. Let's do, okay, so it's really small. I want to make it bigger, and I'll increase like this, and I'll increase the name so that you can see better the user. In here on the photo, I could also use this photo to over there. So I'm still in design. I'm going to add this element here. Let me check where the element is. This is where it is. I'm going to select this element. Okay, now it's way too big. Be careful when you squeeze. If you want to maintain the proportion, you use the shift, but you can do it on this green dot. This one also scrolls down like this. Okay, I already have two. This one is the one I want to use, and I want to make it smaller so it will fit there. And I want to make like a circular mask. So what you need to do is just drag the image on the top of the circle, and then you select the right click on the path and say use as mask. And here we go. Now we have our image over there. The user, we have some hashtags and some titles. Let's just copy the post. Okay, so I made a post about this. So I'm just going to paste over there and increase the text. We make it a little bigger, the text. So here instead of 14, let's do 18. And the other one with the hashtag also increase to 18. I want to make sure I have the follow button also. Possibility to turn that on. I'll use the blue also, but with alpha at 50%. The design is almost ready, and what I need to use is just a mouse pointer. Grab ourselves a mouse pointer. Let's download this one. Open up with, maybe we should use the linearity curve for this one. Let's import linearity curve. I want to delete all of these ones, all of these ones, this one also. I want the white hand with no wireless, so I'll delete that. Okay, I'm going to select this, make a group, because this one I know has the white background. So like this, I'll copy, go back here and just paste. Here we go. We have our hand. This is going to do the animation for the like, for the follow. This is the group, let's call it hand, and this is the background and the animation. We are ready to animate. We have everything. We have the hand, we have the likes, we have everything, the text. First thing we need to animate, we could animate all together. As you can see, we have a group here. I don't want to use the whole group. I don't want to animate the background. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this background image from this group. I'll put it here on top and just bring the elements on top, because this way I can animate the whole thing and not the background. For this animation, what we can do, let's say we want to bring this out of screen. So let's jump into animate, and then what we're going to do, you can see you have some presets and you have like a jump. Let's do this, but it doesn't jump out of screen. So what you could have done, you can go back to the first keyframe and just grab that and put it out of screen. And then you'll have something like this. It's really easy to animate. You just have to be sure to place your playhead on the correct spot. So don't forget to zoom this out, because just to see where the image is. And here you can see what I need to do for the beginning is I'm going to grab the hand, and the hand I'm putting outside, and you can see already it has a keyframe on the beginning. But even before this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to animate also stuff inside the image, just to make it a little more fun, the animation. I want this to come and has the image, but also the image will fade right about here. So we'll go into presets. So I'll jump this, go into my image here. Once you select your image, you go back here, right about here. I want it to start to fade in. So I'll just click on fade in, and then what you can see the animation is it's jumping and then it fades in. Even for the writing also, I'm going to do some objects coming in. If you don't have any animations, this is presets that you have here. But let's say I want to add a different animation. So what I'll do is I'll select the text. I'll go into, instead of style, I'll go into animation. And I'll add an animation. Let's say we want to use not the stroke, not the shadow, maybe the text. We can increase the, let's say, line height. What's going to happen is now you have a keyframe with a line height. So you have your keyframe. What I'm going to do is I created the keyframe here, but this is the point where I want to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this keyframe forward, because this is going to be the end, and I want to make a new one here for the animation. So I'll set a new keyframe, and then you have a new keyframe, and now I'm going to set the value like 20. And what's going to happen is it's going to create this animation like this. So the text, because it's 20, it's coming like this, and it's coming from the bottom. And I wanted to make it really fast, just a little animation like that. Alright, so we have our text here, and what you could see is the text, the animation, it comes from outside, and you can see here. So let's go back to design, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a square here, so a rectangle here, so you can mask this. I'll just draw it like this. Make sure you make it white, because it's the information. It's going to be the alpha for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my rectangle, bring it down. What you could do is select these two and make a group selection. So this way I can use this as a mask just for the text, and I'll use as mask. You cannot see the rectangle anymore. The one issue is you have to bring it down because it went up there. It's just a matter of design because of the movement. So I'm going to put it down there again. Let's just grab it in place. As you can see here, it's just masking out the text. So I'll leave it right about here because I want the text to come within that line. So if I now see the animation, now the text only comes up from over there. I'm going to extend the animation a little bit. Let's go back into animate. Let's extend a little bit, and you can see the line coming up there from just masking out from that part. Now we'll do the same thing. We can actually grab just this one and just put it inside the group. And now what I can do is I'm going to copy this animation here for this one, for the hashtags. There we go. You see, now it's also coming out from there, and I have this animation within the text. And now what I want to do is from here, right about here, I'm going to animate the hand. Let's find the hand again. You can go into design and just twist that out. Once you go back to animate, it's already twisted. Another thing that we now need to do is I have this first keyframe, and if I just move here and move the hand right about there, what's going to happen is the animation is going to start from the beginning. So it's already moving from the beginning. Let's say I want it faster. I just drag the first keyframe over there. It's going to be something like this. And now I want to click the little heart for the animation. What I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom this in. And to make that look like a click, I'm going to use like the scale like this. Okay, so it's going to look like a click. This one, the later one, I'm going to do like this. Then I move up like 2 keyframes. I'll make it like this. And I want to go back to the original size. So what I can do is just copy that keyframe. But to do that, you have to expand this and you have to select the keyframe, those both keyframes, copy, and then paste like this. Okay, so it's going to do an animation like click, click, and there we go. After the animation, once it's clicking, so this is the point where it clicks, the heart needs to go red. Let's find the heart. So what we need to do is to change the color. And we're going to animation, add animation. Let's go into fill. Give a keyframe on fill. Okay, so this is the first keyframe. But because this is the point where it turns red, what I need to do is just, you can click here to zoom in. What I need to do is just push this a frame before. And now I'll add an animation on fill. I'll add a new keyframe. You can see now you have 2 keyframes over there. You can even click here to zoom again. And what you could do is on this second one, we'll make it red. So if we go back to our animation, we can see a full screen. Let's go back. Let's play. There we go. Okay, looking good. If we want to go back to zooming, view, zoom to fit, and it fits out the zooming over there. Our animation is almost done. Now I want a new animation for the hand to go up there. Let's move it to the top. So now I'm going to move it to follow. And what's going to happen is it's going to click, then moves to follow. And then I'm going to do another click on the follow. So because we are copying this animation of the clicking, what we can do is just select all 3 keyframes and copy. And the first one I'm going to paste here. So what's going to do is it's going to do the same thing. There we go. We have our animation, clicks once and going to click another one. We want to turn the follow on. So let's go into follow. Okay, we're gonna have to go into style and turn on fill because fill is not turned on. And what we need to do actually is animate the alpha. I'm going to put it at 0. Then I'll move just 1 frame. And on this new frame, I'm going to add a keyframe and the alpha is at 50%. So it's something like click, and there we go. I'm going back to design because I'm going to select this follow instead of being follow. I'm going to delete this. I want the change for the text, so I'm going to design the new text. I'm going to just type here because what I'm going to do is change it to following. And because you cannot change what's written within the text, we have to do another thing. So we have to create like a hidden kind of thing where it's hidden and it's not. So the value, okay, so this one is not hidden and this one is hidden. So you can see the animation first turned on, okay, then you create the keyframe and turn off. Okay, there we go. So it's doing like that because you don't have any animation type in. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate this, and on the text too, the animation is actually going to be opposite. So the first keyframe going to be on the first. So if you expand this, you have the hidden. You have to invert the keyframes. This one is going to go this side and this one is going to go on the end like that. So now it seems like it's not turning off, but once you make the changes to this text, because this text is not follow but following. So now what you have is you have follow, then you have following. And then from here on, I'm going to grab the hand again, and right about here, let's put the hand outside. So you can see now the animation is, there we go, like, follow, and go back. We now could do the whole group move out. So I want him to start. Remember the elements, you have this position. We can copy this one and paste it around here. Paste it at this point. You don't have any animation because it's just in place. And now I want to copy the first keyframe that it's out right about here. So now you have something like this, and then it goes out. And what I'm going to do is just do an animation here. Like for example, if you want to see full tutorial, go on YouTube. So we'll go back to design. If you see now, the design is something like this. So what I'm going to do is at the end, when this moves out of place, I want it like to fade. So I'll grab these two and I'll just go into animate, presets, and let's go into the fade in. The fade in might be too long, so I'll just grab the keyframes and put it in place. So if I look at my animation now, there we go. Click, click, there we go. Full tutorial. Okay, maybe I should mention this animation. Okay, so our animation has about like, let's leave a little space to read, maybe 7 seconds. Okay, so I want to change the size of my, I want to define, instead of 10 seconds my animation, I want to make it 7. So what you can do, if you go to animate and select scene 1, you can just go here on the animation, in the duration, you can change it to 7. And here you go. All you need to do at the end is just click export. It's doing its thing. As you can see, this is real time, so it's really fast. And here we go. This is our animation. On the side, you can select which format you want to export. This is going to be an MP4, AVC H.264, the default. You can use H.265. Some people nowadays say that platforms with H.265 has more quality. I haven't noticed, but this is the size, 30 frames per second. If you wanted it like a transparent background, for example, for GIFs, that you could use this. And we are ready to export. So I hope you enjoyed this animation. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give a like and or a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.